Okay, I'm going to let you guys in on this right in the beginning. I've got two camera angles going on. I've got a little glow light around me. And this is totally new for me, but it's exciting. And I want to share that with you because, now who am I? 3.5 years ago, I was homeless. I got out of jail and I was just stepping out of a 23-year crazy drug addiction. And here I am with cameras on me, computer, a microphone, this podcast that I've created. This will be episode number 28. It's crazy. It's crazy. And it's something that I'm really grateful for. And I'm really proud of myself for. Really, I am. And I'm start this episode off like that. I'm just going to start it real because I'm looking at these cameras and they're kind of messing me up. But it's I'm going to talk about it because I feel it. And I just want to talk about it and just be look, man, this is what you can do with a life. Nothing has to hold you back in this life. The only boundaries you set are the ones you set. And that's so true. I'm proof of that. And I'm really grateful and I'm really proud to be here and to be able to talk about my story and the wonderful things that I have on my mind and share them. So I'm grateful for that. And, we're rounded in to 2024, which for most people, that means new year, new you, right? Because we've added another year onto our lives. And really, last year should be a wealth of knowledge for you. It should be a wealth of education to teach you about all the mistakes you made that you see as mistakes, as lessons to help push you forward to the new year. I talked to an individual recently that told me they've been trying to do a new year for 5 years. And I asked them what they're doing differently, and they couldn't give me an answer. So for me, it's there's two changes that have to make when you're trying to do something new. One is internally, psychologically. You make a choice in your mind to set up boundaries, routines, patterns, and habits. You allow yourself to make mistakes if it doesn't work out the first time. That's really important. You got to let yourself make mistakes because with a messy mind and trying to introduce a new habit, new patterns, new routines, you're going to make mistakes. And most people just give up after the first mistake. But I'll tell you, 23-year drug addiction, man. I relapsed so many times during that 23 years and kept going back to drugs because I just accepted the fact that I couldn't get over it until one day that I didn't accept that anymore. And I told myself, enough is enough. I'm done with that life. I have learned enough repeated lessons that I'm tired of going in circles. And that was the catalyst that moved me forward. I asked love into my life. I can't separate myself from that because love is everything. Love is the most powerful gift and tool that we could possibly possess. And it's free, which is fantastic. Start there, January 1st, with a New Year's resolution, they call it. Why don't you start with some New Year's gratification, some gratitude towards yourself for even thinking about making changes in your life or evolving from one person to a new person. Because that's a beautiful thing, to transition from one human to another. I mean, that's what this is all about. Life, evolving, learning, making mistakes, trying new things, falling down, getting back up again, losing everything, rebuilding. That's what it's about. That's what gives us education. A little piece of paper on your wall will tell you you're an employee. But if you're a student of life, you never stop learning. And you get that diploma when you die. And it's a beautiful one because it becomes a part of you. Nobody determined the value of that diploma but you. And that's really important to understand and to know that you have that power of what lessons you want to learn. You're in school every single day. And it's not easy. It's not meant to be. If everything was easy, we wouldn't learn valuable lessons. The struggles, the difficulties, those are the things that stay with us. So don't be afraid of that. New Year's resolutions aren't going to be easy. I mean, you've been practicing a certain way of life, God knows how long, and that's okay. But stepping in with New Year's gratification, gratitude towards yourself for thinking differently is a beautiful thing. The second thing that's going to change with a New Year's resolution is going to be an external practice from you. So you're going to have to learn discipline. It's not going to be easy because it's a whole lot easier to turn on Netflix and forget about the New Year's resolution or forget about dieting or exercising or staying away from toxic people or loving yourself or reading books or whatever it may be. A big one for all y'all that I would love you to do is shut the television off this year. Think for yourself. No television, no media, nothing. And see what happens inside your mind. It's interesting when we detach from these kind of things and we start seeing ourselves for us. It is a mess inside of our minds. It really is. Because there's so many external ideas from other people that are being planted inside of there. And when you take a week away from those ideas, you begin to see what's going on in your mind. A lot of it is the past, and a lot of it is the future. We're really missing the moment. But the beautiful thing about becoming aware of the past and the future is that you can put yourself in the moment through that awareness. Just through the awareness of seeing where your thought process is, that's the beginning. And that's going to be a really important tool for you to understand along your journey of setting boundaries and creating routines and creating habits. It's really important to become aware. And the awareness is something you grow because anything you practice, you get good at. And I don't want you to forget that. I really don't. We just get caught up in idea of what it means to be an adult. Like, whoever said that we had to grow up and mature and not have fun and be responsible? And, of course we have to be all these things. Absolutely. But we've lost all of the passion, the inspiration, the creativity, the fun of it. It's just become fear, anxiety, and stress. Trying to please everyone or be seen or be heard or be noticed or likes. That way of life is tiring. It really is. I mean, let's be real. It's tiring to constantly need people to accept you. So this year you can learn to accept yourself. That's a really good New Year's resolution to have. Is just to accept yourself for who you are. Accept yourself for the size, the color, the shape, the language, the culture, the tradition, doesn't matter. Just accept yourself. That's a great place to start because then you can start going through all those other labels that I just listed and see what works for you and what doesn't, and see how you arrived at those labels, what religion you are, what culture you define it, what traditions you practice. You're able to look at those and break them down and see if they work for you or see if it's something that has been taught to you. Really important to see things from our own perspective. And moving forward, this year is a great time to start doing that, to become independent, to know yourself. Once you know yourself, you're going to know what you want to do in this life because you know who you are and you know what serves you. That's important. These are really valuable gifts to obtain along the way, but they're tools. It's psychological tools because everything happens in the mind. We have two minds. One in the head, our brain, obviously. It's the thing that confuses us. The thing that often has two voices. One that motivates us and one that we choose to see procrastination through. That one can be very loud at times. But one of the minds that we have not been taught to listen to is the one in our heart. And there is definitely a mind inside of your heart. You can look into that if you like. Scientists have recently discovered it, but I'm sure it's been known for quite some time. And an ancient practice of how to wake up the heart or to get the heart to listen or you to listen to your heart is to tap it 3 times. So ask a question and then tap your heart 3 times and see what happens. It's a great way to bring you back to center for everything that matters. Because everything that does matter comes from the heart. And truth lies within the heart. So if you're not sure about something, tap that heart 3 times. Because you've got 2 minds. You've got 2 places to get answers. And I don't want you to forget that. And I don't want you to give up. I definitely don't want you to give up. This year is your year. Simply because you're going to understand yourself from a different perspective. You're going to change the community, the environment, and ultimately change your thoughts. Because the people that surround us are typically the people that shape us. And that's why we end up saying things and doing things that don't align with us. Because everyone else around us is doing that. So we need to be very aware of our community. We also need to be aware of our environments. If hanging out in the bar just for something to do and slamming a couple beers doesn't serve you because the conversations you hear around you are not aligning with who you are or what you stand for, move. Move out of that environment. You have the ability to do that. Seek out like-minded individuals that are seeking the same thing as you, because there's a community of individuals for every walk of life. Doesn't matter what you're into or what you want to grow into. There's people out there that are in the same things that you are. That's what social media tools are available for. There's an application called Meetup. Meetup will bring you to community events where individuals come together over common interests. Hiking, dog walking, whatever it may be. There's so many different community events that happen on there, but it's just an application to search within your area for where like-minded individuals are meeting up. So I would highly encourage you to look into that. I don't want you to give up on yourself. It's really important. So often we just lay down and accept old patterns, habits, and routines. My story, yes, it inspires many just from what I went through, and I'm really grateful for that. But I could never be here unless I made a choice to do something different. And that choice was made through the power and the ability to make that choice. That power is so beautiful, and it's something that we give away so often in our life. We take it for granted to have this power to make choices, to give us consequences. Sometimes the consequences are difficult, and sometimes they're extremely beautiful, and they lead us to new areas of our life. So I want you to remember the power that you have, the power to choose and the power to love. Those are the two things that helped me change my life. And the third was the power to talk about how I felt, to make that choice. Because a lot of what we're hiding from is emotions in our life. And I think that we can all agree on that. Not being able to communicate about our emotions, or not being given the tools to communicate about our emotions, is something that's holding us all back. And I think of the kids, like we've got to be the example for these children so we can set them free, so we can have new great ideas, new forms of education, new forms of communication happening for the new earth or a new wave of children. If we keep being silent and we don't teach children the power of their voice, the power to choose, power to love, then where do we go from here? That's our responsibility as parents, as guides, as adults, as individuals with more time on this planet. That's what it means to be an adult to me, is having more time on this planet than the youth. And I like to see it like that. It doesn't come with all these other ideologies that are not of my own thinking. I feel like I'm Peter Pan, and I've said that quite a few times, but Peter Pan has evolved into somebody that I can be proud of. I'm proud to be the individual that I am. I'm proud of what I stand for. I'm proud of what I believe in. I'm proud to be believing in my brothers and sisters having the same abilities and capabilities as me to overcome whatever holds them back. And I'm really happy to be able to talk about it and share about it today, because I'm not going to stop. I mean, if my story is something that you can associate with coming from a place of an inability to love myself and talk about how I feel, if you understand that and you're filled with trauma, or you have trauma and there's things that you just don't know how to let go of, listen to the previous episodes or just stick with me on this journey, because this year I'm going to make something of myself through an ability to connect with my brothers and sisters, because to me, that makes me happy. And that's something that I want to achieve. I want to achieve an evolution of a vibrational frequency within my brothers and sisters. I want everyone to feel this power that we have within us. And it's the power of love, man. It's definitely the power of love. It doesn't come with regret. It doesn't come with revenge. It doesn't come with these ideologies that induces violence and anger. It's a state of peace. It's a state of stillness. It's a state of understanding being, like just being, just to be. I am who I am. It's really cool. And it's really great. And anybody can have it. Anybody can get it. Society said I was at the bottom. where I was in my life, only 0.1% of people make it out of, and even less do what I'm doing today with their life and their story. That just shows us that it can be done. So to me, those statistics are just limited beliefs for other people to hold them back. I don't allow that in my life. I look at that as an opportunity to grow past that. And I'm going to increase that number because that number is ridiculous. We are being held back from ourselves. We don't need anybody to tell us we can and can't do things. We just need to show ourselves what we can do. And I believe in that. And I believe in you. And I thank you for believing in me. And I thank you for supporting me. And I thank you for being here along this journey. I'm going to keep this podcast episode short today because it's time to be with your family. It's time to enjoy the present moment. I just wanted to give you something to think about coming into the new year. New year, new you doesn't end with the first failed attempt at whatever it is you want to overcome. You never give up. You just keep moving forward. Thank you for listening to my stuff, and just thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate everyone who is looking to grow through the things that hold them back. I mean, it's fantastic, and we go and do it. You know, this is it. We are in a state of elevated thinking, and all it takes is for us to unlearn everything we've been taught. But we can do it. When a clean slate is a beautiful thing. So you might be looking for that this January 1st. My social media is Real Talk for an Unreal World. That's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. My Twitter is Real Talk 4 Unreal. I've been putting up little quotes and stuff that I like there. I'm getting ready to write my book, so I'm feeling really good. Things are happening, and I'm making moves, and I'm really excited. So excited to share that with you so we can all make moves together. And my email is realtalkforanunrealworld@gmail.com. You can message me if you've got anything going on in your life that you need to see from another perspective, or if you just need some encouragement or some motivation, whatever it may be. You want to share a story, get some things off your chest, whatever you need. I'm here. I have time. This is what I do with my life, and I appreciate you. So please give yourself an immense amount of gratitude moving into the new year, because that's where it all begins, is with gratitude, kindness, and love. And I don't want you to forget that. So much love for being here. Much love for listening to this. Enjoy your New Year's Eve.